no. What are you doing? You're bloody juddery on TikTok. I don't get it. No. What are you doing? Hi, hello. Alright, how's it going? Fucking, oh, come on, move up. Alright, Omar, how you doing, bud? Alright, stay there. Still wonky. There. Does that help? Stop lighting. No, I think that's quite alright actually, as it is. You're right, Kel. How's yo? How's everybody doing? Gonna get a few on while we're there. Takes one to know one, Omar. Omar coming. Omar coming. Love it. Anybody know what that's off? Omar coming. Oh shit, it's Omar. Anybody? Come on, somebody must know. Yo, how's it going? How's everybody doing? Gonna sneeze. Oh. Winter blues don't exist. So it can't be that. It's good. Winter's this time to go within, you know. Winter's this time definitely to go within. So it's like, it's good that stuff's coming up, you know. It's the purging time. You get it? Love it. Omar coming. It was off. I forgot my name, but now. Not The Vice. The Wire. That was it. The Wire. It's fantastic. Love that series, actually. It's class. How's everybody doing? Just have a flash of some higher dimensions. There we go. It's actually a 3D object. This. Yeah. Because as you go, that's a two-dimensional version of it, but there is a third-dimensional, fourth-dimensional, fifth-dimensional versions of the yin yang, you see. Okay. How's everybody getting on anyway? What's the crack? Thanks for the likes already. That's superb. If you keep smashing away, let's get us to 30,000 likes today. Like, I just sit on lives like that. Literally, it's literally sending love to people. It's good for you. It's good for them. That's it. Yeah. How's everybody getting on anyway? How's today been? It's been lovely. I've been in the sun. I made a puppy tray out of wood for Sifu and his partner Els. It was really, really nice because their son's dog, who he's gone to Australia, but yeah, they mated, and now I forgot the name then. Freya is pregnant, so she's popping babies out, and dogs have a 6 week pregnancy, so she's quite far along already. So another couple of weeks, and then she'll be ready to pop. And now she's got a beautiful baby cot crib, fucking dog box, made by my fair hand. It was really nice, actually. It's been beautiful. It's been beautiful being down here. I love it. I'm going to come back down and do a lot of work, I think, with Sifu and things, which will be nice later on. Maybe this year, maybe later on. So we get to do some labouring and handiwork and stuff like that, because I was a handyman thing. Wow, bashing the likes. Love it. Thank you very much, everybody. Get a load of people on here, because I think Sifu's coming on at one point as well, and he's putting his on. I'll put mine on as well. So yeah, we're going to share a lot of decent information this evening. So stay tuned is what I would say, because the conversations that we've been having since I've been here, like Sifu, for anybody who doesn't know, means like master or father or guide, basically. But everybody, in essence, is a Sifu. You know, you're a Sifu to other people. What type of info? Lots of info about higher dimensions, about metaphysics, about the Tao. Loads of stuff. Oneness, consciousness, unified consciousness, basically. Yeah. Talking about conspiracies. Yeah, there'll be a little bit of that in there. How do you spell that word? What word? Tao, T-A-O. Excuse me. But yeah, so I should have a questions box, I think, and I'm going to stick the shilajit in here as well because it's really, really cheap at the moment. If you know, you know. Yeah, stuck the shilajit in here as well. What do you make of Alan Watts? Yeah, love him. He was my awakening. After I did DMT the first time. Good stuff, Caddy Taddy. Love it. Good stuff is the shilajit. For anybody who wants to know, I can pin it on here actually. No, it's pinned. And it's really cheap at the moment up until Friday, and it's something that I take on pretty much a daily basis. I've got my jar of it sat down there. And I've been walking around with my little shilajit stick all day today. I made this out of cherry wood when I was fishing one time and used it to scrape my shilajit out of. So hello Charlotte, how are you? But yeah, if you know, you know. But there are stargates. There are stargates underneath these mountains where the shilajit is harvested from. And if you know anything about sacred geometry, it manages to infuse light codes into the shilajit, and this is the highest quality shilajit that I've found thus far, and I might actually be producing it myself soon, so watch that space as well. It's something that I've been taking for just over a year now. It's fascinating stuff, so if you feel like intrigued by this, it definitely helps on this journey. Sifu's still doing Qigong. Can't see him. Lights on. Can't see him. Yeah, I'm good. I'm really good. Yeah, I've felt the shift from Pluto going into Aquarius, and if anybody knows, you will find out, Dewdrops. The last time that Pluto went into Aquarius, we saw massive shake-ups in the world. Like we had the French Revolution, we had the American Revolution as well, and now we're going to have World Revolution. Yeah. But revolution probably isn't the best term because revolution means, well, no, it's cycle. Everything's a cycle, isn't it? So, but I know that everybody's being activated at the moment massively. You can see a real glint in people's eyes, and just the fear has disappeared. I'm no longer bothered by like what the powers that were could do, because we realised that we're all one thing, we're all interacting with ourselves basically. That's it. Thank you for the follow, Estrelina. Good name. What do you make of the North Star being back? I have no idea. No idea. My name is Maria. I'm Portuguese medium, and I was trying to understand the subjects. I see. Very interesting. Shabba-dabba-doo. There we go. That's why I've been feeling ill last week. Yeah, just be clearing stuff. Loads of people have been ill this last week, which is quite interesting, So it's a good thing, though, There's a lot of good energy coming out of people at the moment, that's for sure. As we are activating, we're all getting activated. And our DNA is upgrading right now as well, which has never happened on Earth before. So it's really that time of catalyzing, like just looking after yourself. And not so much in, just be mindful of what you're consuming, but also what you're telling yourself. That's a big part of this, because a lot of the unhealthy stuff that we actually have going on in our bodies is due to the fact that we are creating the negative attachment to whatever it is that's happening in our lives right now. But you are noticing, like, the most empowering thing for people right now is just recognizing your thoughts. Recognizing your thoughts, what they're saying to you. Are they positive? Are they negative? Are you acting on your next highest excitement? If not, why not? What's stopping you? What fear is stopping you from doing that? Because it's like, if we're not happy, then the rest of the world around us isn't happy, So it's like, you are your number one priority right now, And everyone says, oh, that's selfish. No, I've got to think about my kids first and foremost. Karen knows this. You've got to consider yourself first and foremost, because if you're not happy, then how can the people around you be happy too? That's the one thing that I realized in my own life, is like I was giving endlessly and I was just an empty cup, man. I was an empty cup and it just didn't feel right at all, So then I was compromising every part of myself as well. So there you go. The star that guided the wise men back to have a look out of the window. With the frankincense, myrrh, and gold. Well, that's interesting, because I have gold, frankincense, and myrrh down here on this table right now. It's like, if you know, you know. Because these things are actually psychedelics, as they are, and I burn frankincense. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. And if you don't know what frankincense is in its rawest form, I'll show you. Where's that? I've ran out of lighters and I've ran out of matches. I've just got a candle. There we go. Right, that's true. Do you work with our masters in spiritual field? Yes. Real talk. You feel like people's energy. You feel people's energy when you walk in the room. I'm sure you do. Yes, yeah. I have an open aura. I know what's known as a cloud whisperer, as Sifu tells me. So I'm able to move and transmute people's energy for them just by feeling into it, really. You know, it's nothing special nowadays because a lot of people can do that anyway, but there's a lot of transmutation happens through my words, and my voice can help actualize things. And that's it. And TikTok's probably going, "Oh, you're smoking. It's not, it's Palo Santo, mate." Yeah. So there are no coincidences. So this is frankincense. Anybody who doesn't know, this is frankincense. It looks like this. Can look a bit darker. And then you've got myrrh, which looks like that. You know, these are the things that the three wise men gave to Jesus, and for a good reason, because it activates DMT in your brain. And what I do is I get these little charcoal discs and I break them up into quarters, and then you burn them. And this is a practice that I do about 3 times a day, basically. You know, it's just something I've done for a long time. So you use these little charcoal discs, they heat up, put them in the little dish that my dad made us, an AK original, Andy Kelsey original. And then I put bits of frankincense and myrrh. Now, I like myrrh on its own, actually, because the frankincense that I've got at the moment isn't of the best quality, and I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to the frankincense, I must say, because you can tell instantly whether or not it's good quality or bad quality. It should give off like a real citrusy smell. Beautiful. I need to top up. I'm going to get some decent myrrh. And I did actually, I've just got a refund off eBay because I ordered some green frankincense, which usually frankincense you can pick up like a kilo for about, I don't know, 30 quid or something like that. But I like to get the real high quality stuff. And there's a green frankincense where you get, what is it? For 100 grams, you get, for 100 grams, it's 55 quid. But they've refunded me, so I'm going to buy some more right now. Anyway, that's it, burn it. Yeah, it's not the best frankincense, that. I need to get some other ones. There you go. Being there sound made me start this journey. Yep, that's it. Text me later, please. Isn't it resin from trees? I'm not 100%. Yes, that's it. Yeah, I smoke cigars. I don't inhale it, but I just like cigars every now and again because the tobacco is quite a sacred plant. In fact, it's probably the most sacred plant that there is. I'm going to set the fire alarm off, and that's not the nicest of frankincense. Yeah, it is. It's tree resin. What they do is they go to the Boswellia family of trees, and it could be Boswellia cateri or whatever it is, and they score little scores in it, and then it bleeds out as a resin like that, and then they go back a little while later, and then it dries. But this is why it was given to Jesus, because it activates DMT in the brain and is an actual psychedelic. And same with the myrrh as well. You know, the myrrh is like and then I've got a little bit of benzoin gum there as well, which is another one of these saps. Incredible stuff, really is. But it's something that I've done for years now. Yeah, see, that one's slightly nicer, but it's nowhere near where it should be. I like the, there's one called the Superior Horror Joy frankincense, whereas the other stuff, yeah, so you can tell the quality of that. That's not that great. But use it in ceremonies and things like this. That's it, you know. I got the essential oils, yeah. Zamanik Reiki, very cool. Tell us a Zen story. You want a Zen story? I'll tell you a Taoist story about non-attachment. Okay, Chinese farmer. You've probably all heard this before. Yeah, but the Chinese farmer. Cheers to the 3.9 thousand likes, but guys, that's awesome. Must be battering away. Chinese farmer. So he's out in the fields one day, and he's out there with his horse, and then his horse fucks off. Yeah, I'm paraphrasing this one. Okay. Then his horse fucks off, and then you know, all the villagers run around and they go, "Oh my God, that's terrible," you know, and the farmer's like, "Maybe." So anyway, the next day, the horse comes running back. and it brings with it 3 other wild horses. And he's like, all the villagers are like, oh my God, that's amazing, isn't it? And he's like, maybe. So anyway, it comes to the next day. It's all about attachment, this, in case you're wondering. And then he goes, and then his son is riding one of these new wild horses. The next day, falls off and breaks his leg. And all the villagers come around and go, oh my God, that's terrible, isn't it? And the Chinese farmer goes, maybe. So then the next day, the Chinese government come around and they've started war. So they're coming and collecting the first son of every family. But because his son has a broken leg because of the horse fall yesterday, they aren't able to take him. And you see what I mean by this? Like, it's saying that we don't know if anything is good or bad, and therefore there is no right or wrong. We just don't know, because we don't know enough to be scared. We don't know enough to be joyful. So that's why you just get to this point on this journey that no matter what happens, it's like, yeah, sure, feel happiness and joy and all the rest of it, but don't be attached to that, because life goes like this. It's like the waveform of the yin yang, Life goes like this, from bad to good, from bad to good. But if you can walk this middle path here, then you realize the game here is to walk in this middle path no matter what happens. Don't get pulled off either way. I was going to say tugged off either way. There you go. Rosemary oil, yeah, it's good for hair loss and stuff like that. The clairvoyance, I would probably feel in distance, and I'm like, will you try? And I'm like, will you try? Sorry, I don't know. I can't remember what I was saying at the time. One of my favourite stories. Yes, there you go. Excellent. The middle way. Yes. Just used it to help a friend to trust. Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's really, really interesting. Because on this journey, we get so many ups and downs and all the rest of it that we then get to a point where we're just like, right, okay, I just want a nice, balanced, happy medium of what's happening. And that's where we get to in this realization, is that it's just like, right, we don't know if anything is good or bad, but don't deny yourself good and bad feelings either. You know what I mean? But the more we are able to regulate our nervous systems and come to a level of awareness in the world of what's happening, like, for instance, COVID narrative and all that sort of stuff that's happened recently, what the powers that were, in essence, God ourselves, have also implemented into this world, was because the awakening process on Earth wasn't going fast enough. So what did we have to do? We had to impart a little bit of fear into the collective and see how they respond to it. Some people responded by going like, hang on a minute, there's a load of bollocks. And then it's like a load of people decided, oh, no, we'll just go along with this. That everything is starting to play out now, because you'll never hide truth. You'll never hide truth. It's about really recognizing, to walk that middle path with everything and see and have patience, when bad things occur in your life. You can then step back from it and go like, oh, hang on a minute, no, this doesn't feel quite right. There's something else happening here. And then if you have patience, which is a virtue, then you can wait a while, and then you realize, oh, hang on a minute, no, this was good too. You know what I mean? It's like how we perceive things creates our reality. That's why the powers that were right now are playing a game with us and seeing if we realize that we are actually in full control of this reality. Yeah. And that no matter what they do, it's a consensual universe. It's based on free will. So as long as you take your sovereignty back and you start empowering yourself, this is why I'm here, to help people empower themselves to realize that you are that divine source connection. Then when you do that, you start to step out of victim mode of, oh, whoa, this is happening to me. And yes, this is happening for me. Everything is happening for me. Yeah, that's it. Oh, don't, Paula. Sexy Paula. How's it going, mate? You all right? So then, yeah, it's like, then you start to see everything as just this like divine game. And then when you figure the game out, and the game is fear, to overcome fear, or to understand fear or understand fear as being a good thing. Because every time that we run away from fear, it has power over us. When we move towards it, it just goes blah, 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 and it dissolves. Just dissolves into nothingness, nout. There's nothing there. There's never anything there. You see? It's like, that's what we realize, is like, we hold all the keys. We hold all the keys, We hold all the power. It's like that key on my hand that my daughter said. I like light transferred this down from higher dimensions and I didn't know what it was, but it's now making sense. It's like hold the keys. And the key is that we don't have to be scared. Because if we're scared, then the powers that were have control over us still. Whereas if we don't react to it, if we regulate our nervous systems and dig deep into ourselves and start to really realize that the innate power that we all have, yeah, it's a bit scary because then you get a responsibility, but then you get able to make choices from a conscious place. When you're able to make choices from a conscious place, then things start to get very, very interesting. Is Sifu finished yet? No, I don't know. It's probably on here now. Wow, my brain cells sort of tingling from that description. Makes sense, yeah. And don't get me wrong, I was scared absolutely shitless. I was scared shitless. 3 years ago, like 2.5 years ago, I went through major psychosis, lost it, and then I had to decipher my way to what was true and real about this reality. And through that, then I was able to actually, through the suffering, through the darkness, I've found the light, and now I walk in a place of, like, remember, don't deny any of this, because this is you too, yeah? If we deny this, then this has power over us. If we deny the light, then this has power over us, you see? So you go walk in the middle somewhere. Or not, you can do whatever you want. It is decisionless life possible, like getting off the wheel. When bad has come my way since my awakening, as soon as I trust, then I will find the gift in it, 100%, yeah. Thank you for the follow, Mary Beth. I lost 1.5 stones and tea. You lost the tea as well as 1.5 stones in 5 weeks. The I Ching, where they throw the little sticks on the ground to make decisions. Yes, love it. How do we do that? Like simple way, that book. Like a simple way, because that book long and complex. Like a simple way, because that book is long and complex. Well, it doesn't matter. You don't have to use the sticks and things. You can throw anything down and use that to make a decision. But really, you can't make a wrong decision, ever. Yeah? So it's like, where am I going now? Am I going to go left or right? Oh, I'm going to go right then, It's like, oh, which way am I going to go now? Oh, I'm going to go up. There you go. See? So you can't make a wrong decision. And that's it, We can do it. How's it going? Yes, use your intuition. Follow your energy within your body. What's your gut saying? What's your gut saying? Yeah. What's your gut saying? No. Yeah. It's like, what's happening? Teetotal, stopped drinking and lost weight. Yay! Spot on. Are you happy with yourself, Paula? But that's the other thing, is like, whenever you're doing something, do it for you. Because if you don't do it for you, you'll always end up failing. If you're doing it for, I just said this on my journey, it's like, I was working out all the time and like doing all this stuff, but it was so I appeared to other people that I was strong or whatever it was. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, no, it's all bollocks. Now I do it for myself. I do it because I know it makes me fit. Yeah, I've had a near-death experience. That's it. I've died in this lifetime. That's it. And you come back to life. And then when you come back to life, you have all this download of it's not even a download. It's just an uncovering of universal knowledge about how this reality works. Because it's like your ego, the ego mind is the thing that's really blocking a lot of it, but it doesn't actually exist. It's just a story. It's just a story that we create. That's it, Yeah. If you're feeling shit within yourself, go and help somebody, Go and help anybody. It doesn't matter if it's, it doesn't have to be like, spending your life savings on rescuing them or whatever. It's like, it's just a smile, care, attention, It's like, it's why I do the calls with people, So I had a lovely lady on this morning. It was just absolutely amazing, It's like a 15-minute free call, lasts about an hour. And there has to be an energy exchange. So she gave me a testimonial, and that was really nice. But fortunately, it's like I make money in other ways. You know what I mean? It's like so I can do that. For the people who can't afford it, then I can do it. But the people who can afford it, then they do pay. It's awesome. But I'm so blessed that I get to do it for a job. You know what I mean? I lost the ego for a split second once, and then got scared. My heart fluttered, and I backed out. Yeah, it's just a continual thing. You'll realise, like, the more you go on for it. Cheers for the likes, everybody. It's really good. there's nothing to be scared of. Do you know what I mean? Breath work's really good for that. You know, there has to be a certain amount of like somatic trauma release and stuff like that. I'm just seeing if Sifu's there because he was going to come and do a live. So we're going to speak on a live soon. He's got so much information, fucking like helped me so much to really understand myself and certain aspects of my journey as well. But everybody's a Sifu for everybody. Everybody's a teacher for everybody. You know, every single interaction that you have, you know, those people are Sifus in essence. They're teachers, they're guides. There you go. Breath is how I got out of the panic. Yeah. 4 second holds, yeah. Box breathing's really good for grounding yourself and centering yourself. It's box breathing. So you go like 1, 2, 3, 4 in. 1, 2, 3, 4 hold. 1, 2, 3, 4 out. 1, 2, 3, 4 hold. 1, 2, 3, 4 in. Yeah. 4 second hold. Box breathing, very good. Mm-hmm. So anyway, what's everybody else going through? Out and out, what's happening? This live's for you guys. So how are you doing, Karen, anyway? Yeah, that's where I do my kettlebell workout, barefoot on the ground. And that's why I've over on TikTok as well, I affiliate market for grounding sheets, and really high quality grounding sheets, actually, down to ground they're called. If anybody's wondering about that, and you can get 10% off at checkout using the code. It's not medicine 10. Anyway, it's in a grounding sheet video that you'll see down the way on the Instagram. And I've just done a podcast with Michelle Vickers as well. And she's like an Akashic reader in essence. She was giving us a load of information, and that's over on YouTube as well. Not my YouTube, but it's on Michelle Vickers. But if you go onto my YouTube itself, you can watch that one through that because it's linked on there, or you can go over to my Instagram, or you can check the link that's on here as well. And there you go. Okay, let's have a look. Love it. Oh, very tired today. I've had lots of sunshine. Good work. I wonder what. I'm just going to check what Sifu is. If we're going in there. Where's my shoes? I'll just go check where he is. Nope, it's not there. I don't know where he is. Oh. Class. I love that. Yeah, my dreams have been absolutely crazy since I did that reading with Michelle. Dreams have been off their nut, actually. I got deep into it, mate. Like, you know, I realize in dreams, because, like, you know, sometimes I'll go into the lower astral realm and I'll be chased by, like, demons and all this sort of stuff. And then I realize and remember that the only things that they can do to me in that state is if I allow them to. So what I do is I, like, you know, I remember at one time I was getting chased through this, like, demonic house and whatever by this, like, evil jester kind of guy. I was like, ugh! And then I went up into the top corner of the room, and then I remembered, I was like, hang on a minute, you have no power over me, and, like, flew down, jumped on his chest and just started beating the shit out of him. And And I was just like, you have no power over me, you know that, and he just smiled at me like that. I was like, yeah, I know. I was just like, yeah. So there you go. That's it. Now has any power over us, that's the game. That's what we come here to realise, and that's what the powers that were, are starting to realise. We're all starting to wake up like super, super fast to their games. It's class. Proper empowering, man. We just stop giving a fuck, Do you ever fought a ram dream? What does that mean? We're eternal souls. Nothing can touch us unless they say we can. Yeah, unless we say we can. Exactly. Came true the next day after I dreamt it, though. Yeah, but it can only hurt your physical body. It can't touch your soul. Do you know what I mean? That's it. I like to say everything's here for a reason. Everything's here for a reason. We're here to realise our divinity. Do you ever listen to Tom Campbell? No. Yeah, I sit with premonitions and stuff like that. Sometimes they do come true, and sometimes they don't. It's like people who get premonitions and things like this in ayahuasca and mushrooms and all this sort of stuff, and then they attach to that so much. But moreover, I know it's the higher dimensions that are coming into play and realising that we need to be taught about attachment. So to become our highest version of ourselves, we need to let go of these attachments in order for us to ascend. So then when we ascend or we get up to these high dimensional places, then we're in a place of happiness, but we can't be in a place of happiness consistently if we're attached in any way to outcome, people, places, situations, any of these things, because then it keeps you locked in anxiety almost about the future, you see. Very interesting. Do you know what? I haven't used an alarm clock in 3.5 years. Not once. Not once have I used an alarm clock. And this goes a long way to being able to trust yourself. It's a practice for me, And even on them days when I'm like, shit, I've got to be awake at 5 a.m. tomorrow. And it's just like, nope. Just go. And my body has always woken me up in plenty of time. Mad that, innit? It's not mad, it's just because, you think about it back in the day, we didn't have alarm clocks. We all trusted our circadian rhythm. We all trusted that our bodies would get us up at a certain time. And this is the thing with intention setting. Everything in this reality is intention. It's created on a free will basis of the universe, and it's literally it's all intention based. So what you put your intention into, that's where your energy flows. So the more you trust yourself, and you say, I do trust myself to wake up at X amount of time. And even if you're starting to play around with this, is what I say to people, and they've got back to me and gave us their version of what happened. I said, set your alarm, but say I want to wake up 6 minutes before my alarm wakes me up. And every time they come back and they go, right, Sam, it worked. I woke up 6 minutes before my alarm, and they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, because you're setting your intention. And your intention is powerful. Thusly, if it's like, you wake up in the morning and you go like, today's going to be a fucking awesome day. Guess what? Those days are always fucking awesome. That's it. Each time you get more control over it, it's yes. Start writing your dreams down as well as subconscious stuff. I've had churches and false light stuff show up in my dreams recently. I've got it in that book, actually. I'm not going to go into it again because I read it out in my other life. I haven't since my awakening, up at 5:30 always. Yeah. Yes, same here, no alarms for sure, many years. I'll trust this tomorrow. Yes, your body clock cannot fail you. I'll just tell work if I'm late. My body is to blame, not me. Yeah, perfect test. So I did 2 workouts yesterday and slept longer than normal 2 day. I knew my body needed it. That's it, yeah. This place of wealth. Knowledge, glad I found this. Yeah, it's nice for you to be here, mate. That's it, it's it's why we're all here. We're just helping each other, everybody else, walk this path, It's like Sifu and I are going to be recording a podcast probably tomorrow evening now, I would say. Hannah had a nap today, and in that dream, a really tall, unknown man with negative energy covered my mouth. Interesting. Just curious, when did you know your path? When did I know my path? I started to wake up about 4 years ago, consciously anyway. Here he is. He's coming over. Why are you so beautiful? Well, you know, just some of us are blessed, but that's all subjective. Yeah, my body clock is ace magical. How life works. Yes, it is. What's Sifu's handle? Well, he's literally, it's funny how you say what's his handle, because he's just touching the handle of my door right now, so there you go. Ho, 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 universe. There we go. All right, here he is. What's your handle, Sifu?
Sifu Boggie. Sifu, what are we on? TikTok.
Yeah.
Then Sifu.Boggie.
Yeah.
No, Sifu Boggie.
Sifu Boggie. If you find it, Boggie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
There you go. Right, we'll move this round. Sit on the couch. And then we're gonna do
okay, awesome.
Yeah. I think we're going to get us both in here, we should do. Just set yours up as well, do you want to?
Yeah. I'll go and get mine on. Set mine up, turn mine on as well. Two for the price of one.
Where are we? There we are. There we go. Universe is a joy with synchronicities. Yeah, it makes me laugh. Makes me laugh how many synchronicities and stuff like happens on a daily basis. Interesting. Right, candles. That's about middle. So this is going to be a really interesting one, guys, okay? Because I might actually get my... I will get my... A little bit of light there. Nice help. Well, we're just getting our cameras set up and stuff, but this is going to be a very interesting chat, please. I think I'm just going to put on microphones. So we're going to be talking about interesting stuff like what flavour ice cream we like and what's our favourite breed of dog. No, I'm only joking. Well, that might be a part of it, actually. Go. Is that white? Mint chopped chip for me. Yeah, probably for me as well, actually, to be honest.
Coffee
Chocolate, yeah?
I love coffee. I'm obsessed with... I'm allergic to coffee, which is the weird thing. So I'm allergic to coffee in the essence of it doesn't have the effect of waking me up. I can drink a treble espresso and then go to sleep.
You're the same as my mum.
So that's me. That's a very Sifu thing to happen, or at least for this Sifu anyway.
One of these. I have one of these today, yeah. Do you want a tea or anything? I don't know.
I am good. So let's just go
That's a mouthful of
onto mine, and let's just spontaneous.
mouthful of peanut butter.
No. Okay. Does it bother? No, it doesn't. Okay, so I might as well just put some.
Got the loo.
Yeah. Hello, Lou.
Sorry, you're all going to hear me peeing now as well.
Yeah, well, we're just setting up. We're just doing our thing. So, whether you go via Medicine Man Sam's one or my one, you're going to see the two of us there.
It's like a split screen, not split screen, almost.
Yeah, not split screen, even. So, good evening. So, Dan Smith on mine. Awakening Project, hello. So, we're going to do a very candid, open chat. Me and Medicine Man Sam. If you don't know Medicine Man Sam, look him up. He is here on TikTok. And he is staying here at Secop's Farm at the moment. And he is here on TikTok. And he is staying here at Secop's Farm at the moment. And we've been this, that, and the other. And it'll get interesting knowing us because us two have very much bonded very quickly, I would say.
You say so. Was it remembered one another?
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
They died. Yeah. So, that's one straight away. So people, do you believe in this? I don't believe I know certain things. I just know them.
Yeah.
You know. So reincarnation is not a belief for me. It's a no. It's a known. Now, if you want to get scientific, there is evidence, strong evidence, to prove reincarnation exists. Mm-hmm. In science, you only need 30,000 case studies of something of evidence for science to go. The good chance that is real. Mm-hmm. There's 80,000 case studies.
Yeah.
It's about 30 to 40 of them are through regression. Now, some people dispute regression.
Yeah.
You know, like hypnosis. But again, it's used in the police, it's used in science, it's used in the military. You know, like hypnosis was pretty much proven a long time ago, and regression was the actual forerunner for the psychic spy community and what then became remote viewing. They were using hypnosis. Millionaires,
by location, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, millionaires, billionaires use regression all the time. For interesting, that's an interesting conversation. So I think we sort of skipped on it. Have you ever seen Mercury ascend? Was it Mercury ascending or Mars ascending, or something else ascending?
Film.
It's a film, and basically, but in this film, it went that this alien race, the person that their mother died and then reincarnated somewhere in the universe, and they had to find her, and she was actually on Earth. They found her on Earth. Now, it's interesting that everything. I was always told, like from friends or people I knew in FBI and CIA, that everything's soft disclosure. Everything, and especially certain programs
has to be, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a science that actually there's a CIA document based on scientific documents that state that nothing is actually imagined. You're channeling everything. So you come up with an idea that's been channeled. So, I've got a brilliant. George Lucas got a brilliant idea for a story about, and we'll call them Jedi and da-da-da-da-da. The Jedi were an Egyptian Taoist, a Qigong practitioner. It means the pillar of light. Darth Vader means my father. Everything that he had in there was connecting something, giving you clues. Even to the fact that the Force is he literally said that he based it on, he based it on Taoism. He based it on Taoism, and the whole thing of the Force is what we call Qi. The light and the dark side of the Force is the yin and the yang. And there's even a document that said that Star Wars, Star Trek, Stargate are all soft disclosure. All soft disclosure. But so go back to that I can't remember what it was, as something ascending, but basically, yeah, it's like in there, like that reincarnation that people pop up elsewhere, and there is so they've done hypnosis, and through regression they saw past lives, but they've even done physical detective work where a child in either India, Africa, or China said, "Oh, I was another person in another village, like 60 miles away." So they go to that village, they interview, they find out about this person. Did that person exist? Yep, person did exist. Found out everything they can about them. Then they find out if there is any connection to that child whatsoever by relative or anything. And all the ones that pass, as in there's no connections, and there is no way that child could have known all the information of that person. And they research everything, and there's over 50,000 case studies of that. That a child has said, "I used to be this person in another life."
In the whatever, and there was that. A few of you may know this is a program on Netflix, and it goes into all this, and it's like the first one's all about near-death experiences, which was fascinating, and then the two that really stuck out to me were the ones where the children are there, and this guy actually goes round and like has a booklet and literally goes like, "What was the park that you used to play in?" to these children who had said that I'm reincarnated thingy, I used to live there, and this is what the park looked like. So without them, like they go around to this guy's house basically, and there's a kid there, and he goes like, "Which park was it?" And he's like, "That one, obviously." And it's like, "And my neighbour Janine, she lived there and stuff." And these people are still living in the place where they said they were, and it's like, how else, and if you were super, super skeptical, you'd need to be there and prove it yourself. But otherwise, it's like, you just, there's no way. And all of these cases have been stacked up now, and not only that, like consciousness, as we know, and when you even just think about it, consciousness is outside of the body, it's like when the body dies, nothing actually dies. It's just a transmutation of energy, isn't it?
Which leads to Nikola Tesla and Einstein. Einstein said it a slightly different way. Nikola Tesla said all energy is conscious. Now that's a big thing straight away. Conscious. All energy is conscious.
I love you to your team. That's it.
And water, and that goes into a whole thing all on its own.
So if you're having a bath, before you get in the bath, literally just emanate loads of positive love into it, because they've done electrode tests. Like there was yogurt sat in front of this guy who was actually, a few of you may have seen this, there was yogurt on a table, right? And they had electrodes in it, like measuring, I can't remember, what would they be measuring in it to measure the frequency imbalance that you can give to it?
I think it could have been the bioelectric magnetic field.
Okay,
there is another one as well, because there's enough. This is the thing, we can go very quickly, go on so many tangents because there's a whole thing.
We're terrible at tangents. It would be like, where did we start? So I'm always trying to bring it back to it. But anyway, it was the producer and the writer of the Ace Ventura movies, basically. I can't remember what his name is now. But anyway, they had the electrode stuck in this yogurt, and they were going like, okay, think of something that's like pretty distraught for you, or something that's like, fearful for you, or whatever. And then the yogurt sat there and it's doing nothing. And he's like, okay, right, your lawyer's calling, like that. And then the yogurt starts doing that, into the realm of fear, basically on the spectrum. So him just sat next to this and having certain thoughts and emitting a certain frequency within his body was affecting the yogurt on the table. So everything is literally like in harmonic resonance with whatever's going on around it. And we're big amplifiers and receivers of that.
Yeah. And there was actually, I know one way of doing that is actually with a lie detector test, because there was a former CIA guy that had a lie detector test, and he was like for 40 years, I think he was doing the lie detector, on people, and he put it, he's like, oh, what made him think to do this? He put it on a plant, and he started to eat a sandwich, and the plant showing was like going into what on a person would be agitation and fear. And he was going agitation and fear. Then it was a tomato and lettuce sandwich. And then when he blessed it and said thank you to it, the plant then calmed down. So there's this big thing, and I don't mean to step on anybody's toes, but hey, it happens at times. If you're very, all life is sacred, all life is sacred, then what are you going to eat? Yeah. Because if everything is conscious, even to the point where quantum physicists have said that atoms are conscious, and which goes back to Nikola Tesla saying everything is conscious, and energy, all energy is conscious energy, or all energy is conscious, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed or transferred, which means, and again, it goes on to another thing about when you die, they've had super sensitive, put people who are close to death on super sensitive weighing machines, and you lose 8 ounces. There are 8 ounces of something that disappears when you die. And they're, like super sensitive equipment.
Saying that, 8 ounces is quite a lot, actually. I'm thinking if you were casting that out, it'd be quite a weight. You know what I mean? That's a lot. I didn't know it was 8 ounces. Wow, that's incredible.
So there's 8 ounces of something that disappears from the body, and so go back to energy can only be transformed and transferred. Yeah. So your consciousness can also sort of be weighed, or at least there's some dispute on this. But a lot of the time he was doing it, and it was like fairly across the board. This 8 ounces kept appearing. Where does that go? Where do you go? You go into the near-death experiences, and also near-death experiences can actually also happen through meditation. You do meditation, you can have a near-death experience.
It's practice for death, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it, because you're just losing everything. It's like certain meditation is going to come back round from it. I open my eyes, I'm like, whoa, yeah, I'm here actually again, isn't it? It's like you did die unto yourself for a moment. You forgot where you were.
Yeah, and you can do that in sleep. I've done that in sleep many times. I wake up, where the frick am I?
Yeah.
Who the frick am I?
Right.
And
looking at the ceiling going like...
Yeah, what... And so in Taoism, there's this thing of, somebody used to do it. So the sleeping prophet, which is, I've forgotten his name, the prophet Edgar Cayce. Edgar Cayce was known as the sleeping prophet, and he did what was known as like an ancient Taoist waking up from the Tao, or you heard of like going into the Tao, but waking up or going to sleep into the Tao is when you're just falling asleep or when you're just waking up, you're the closest to the Tao, like you're closest to the death and you're closest to the Tao. So that is the time you can ask yourself questions and something will answer. So you can actually and just listen and observe. So I tend to do it when I wake up. So if I get chance in the morning, I'm not on a time limit, I will like wake up and then I'll just listen, observe, or ask myself a certain question. What's the outcome of this, or what should I do about this? What should I do about that? And answers will appear. Stuff will like pop up. And when I normally wake up, there's so many times I've woken up and it's also almost felt like you ever put a glove on or put a jumper on and it's touch the mic. Put a jumper on and it feels a bit, you've got to like wiggle into it. And I've done that with my body. That I've woken up and it's like, it doesn't feel right. It's not I feel achy, but it literally doesn't feel right. It's like
into it.
I've got to move and put it back on properly. And so, so that's the thing. So you can tune into the universe, tune into Tao when you're falling asleep or waking up. That's what the sleeping prophet did. And he had so many predictions of stuff. And then the other one is, another thing of like when you go into like tarot cards and what, don't get me wrong. Tarot cards are playing cards. Did you know that playing cards are tarot cards? Playing cards originate from tarot cards. The diamonds are the pentacles in the tarot cards. The heart is the heart. Well, it's a cup. In the tarot cards, the heart is the cup. The wands are the wands. The swords are the swords. So the whole playing cards, you could actually read somebody's fortune with playing cards.
Yeah.
Because you just translate.
I've seen a really good reader who, like, when I was in my Dark Night of the Soul, she just made her own. She'd just write on them because it doesn't matter. Like, somebody wrote the original tarot deck, you know? It's like, well, why can't you just write your own? You can.
That's the point. That's what Oracle decks are. Oracle is, right, this card's going to mean, this is going to mean this. This is going to mean this. Well, how do you think, like, you know, like reading bones, reading tea leaves?
Anything, isn't it?
Oh,
that's what I just said. I was throwing this down on the table. Where do I go next, you know? It's like, whatever way it's pointing, I'm going forward, you know? Like,
and the Cloud Whispers, I told you about the Cloud Whispers. So the Cloud Whispers were former Taoists, which part of them were fortune tellers in the essence of, they would look at the clouds, look at what, like, where they're looking right now, or, so like, say you spin you around 3 times, whichever direction you're looking, they read those clouds, but also read the trees, read everything in that direction, because it's all from the universe. It's all giving you information.
Yeah, and that's the breakdown of the separation idea of whatever, isn't it? You know, and it is literally bird calls. Today we're so bang on point. The bird calls were just, you know, at certain points. There you are. There, that's it. It's confirmation. It's God waiting, and it's going like beep, 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 you know. It is. Anything is a sign.
It all is. It all is synchronicity. Yeah.
The number plates coming here were insane. I've never had so many triple-digit number plates as when I was on the way to Seafoods. Do you know what I mean? It was like 777. I had then it was 555 straight after that. I had 3s. I had 4s. I didn't have 6s. I had 8s. Like, it was just insane. I was just like, I know where I'm meant to be going. Do you know what I mean? It's just confirmation from the universe.
And that's not including that where I live is his surname. So
that's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
He mentioned it to us about 3 weeks ago or something like that.
Oh, by the way,
I keep forgetting to say, I live in Kelsey, and I'm like, no way. Like, I'm coming. That's it, you know?
Yeah, good.
I knew it.
Kelsey from the north is coming to North Kelsey.
That's it.
So, but again, that was a whole tangent.
Yeah.
So there is a Taoist method of listening to your intuition, which is your heart. So the ego is the forebrain, and that gives you, we know in science, that gives you 16 to 90,000 thoughts. And they call it the monkey mind. Well, in East, they call it the monkey mind. But interestingly enough, for whatever reason, science says, or in psychology, they actually say, this is from when you were evolution. It's a reptile. Your forebrain is reptilian. Is your lizard part from when you was a lizard, even
really
though you're supposed to be a monkey.
Yeah.
You know, even though we were supposed to evolve from monkeys, apparently we also somehow evolved from reptilians, or sorry, lizards. Reptilians? What are you talking about, Sifu? No idea. Don't just threw it out there and let that fester.
Yeah.
But so monkey mind is up here. 60 to 90,000 thoughts you have every single day. So draw yourself to your heart. Your heart has brain cells. You've got brain cells here, brain cells in your heart, and brain cells in your gut. We have 3 minds in psychology. You actually have 3 minds. So in your heart, there are brain cells, and it's also that now finding out it has an electrical and magnetic field. When you're happy, that field expands, and all your cells start firing and start healing. But when you're scared and angry and anxious and afraid and all of those lovely things, that field contracts and that field sinks. But you can use that as sort of like a tester. So you think of something like, say, what is the outcome of me meeting Medicine Man Sam? If my heart expands, and it freaking did, if my heart expands, like that feeling, like you lift up and you feel, that excitement, that's a that's a good outcome. If you suddenly feel a bit afraid or feel heavy, feel a little bit shrinking, that's well, maybe not now. I'd never say yes or no. I never say good or bad, because things just are. But and I know somebody. I actually know Dr. Laney. He goes by that. He literally, for the last 30 years, he's gone by that every morning. He sort of says in his podcasts, he sort of says, so I tune into the heart and say, right, fella, what are we going to do today? And he'll go by what the heart says. So listening to your heart. Try not listen to this. But it's funny how in movies they flipped it. They said, don't listen to your heart, listen to your brain. Listen to logic. Listen
rather
to this.
than magic.
Yeah. Rather than the magic, listen to this. And it should be inverted. It should be the other way around. Listen to your heart. Listen, but also pay attention all around you. Because we said about the universe talks to you all the freaking time.
Yeah.
Far more than you realise.
Yeah.
And you can call it woo-woo, but quantum physics actually, there's a thing in 1974, they looked at an atom and they wanted to find out, are atoms separate or connected? And if you've heard about atoms, that it's 99.999 empty space. Well, that's not empty space. 1974, they actually called it the quantum field. And it's a substance that connects every atom with every other atom, which finding the quantum field, going back to, they pretty much proved reincarnation. They proved telekinesis, ESP, psychic abilities.
It has to be.
All of that
because
was
it's all
proved
one thing. Yeah.
by this. So when you say, there's no proof, hollocks, big hairy hollocks, there is proof. It's just that you've got to see it, and then you've got to see, hold up.
You've got to be open to it. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
And that is it. I keep saying it. The best term for God that I find is openness. If you're not open to it, then there's no way that it can come in. And that's where it's about with beliefs and limiting beliefs. What you believe creates your reality. And if you're not open to it, then no, it isn't true for you. But it's not to say that, there's other people out there who are going, no, this is definitely true. It is true for that person. Thusly, any person's perception, unless they're ignoring it or they're really just trying to get round it or whatever, then it is true for that person.
Yeah.
But it is about remaining open. And that's why this journey is the best thing you could do. And that's why they say humility is, I don't know. I haven't got a clue. I do not know what is going on. Do you know what I mean? Because the more you find out, the more you expand into infinity, the more you realise it's I don't know. But follow your highest, what you say is, with your heart open. It's like Bashar says as well.
Yeah.
Keep your heart open and move from that place of highest excitement. What's that thing that you go whoa, yeah, I want to go and do that thing. Go and do that thing. Because that's what's brought me here. It's afterwards I was just Sifu, thinking about coming down to Lincolnshire, to visit you all and stuff. And it's the fact that he lives in Kelsey, the universe is literally screaming at me, go there. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. You'd be a fool not to go there, And it's
so originally, so I've been doing FB. I don't know if I'm allowed to use the actual word, but FB and the other one, Insta. I've been on them for freaking years, right? But I kept certain things very quiet. Originally, I used to be in the police. I was actually in the police. And I was a couple of years away from my getting private pension. And I met my partner. I came up here to do an event, a Dragon Dog Shaman event. And for me, similar to us, it's I instantly go, freaking hell, I know you.
Yeah. Your soul remembers as well. Your soul does remember these connections, and it's it gets excited when it's around them. You're oh, hey, it's you again. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah. And I pretty I came up and we waited almost a year, but from that first meet, I was already ready to come up here. And to the fact when I actually gave him my notice, my sergeant actually wanted me to do a psychology a test. Just just to make sure I'm okay. Because like she thought there might be a mental issue because suddenly I'm giving up my 14-year career in the police with 3 years before my pension to go off and gallivant up north. Well, it's up north.
It's funny how you were 13 years in the police as well, and I was 13 years in the forestry as well. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, funny that not.
lucky for some.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but it is a
Unlucky
power
for some.
number. It
Yeah,
is a
proper,
power number
proper.
because there are
Been
people
inverted, isn't
that
it?
find it like, you know, but it's that whole thing of, for me,
13.
it's jumping into the void. You've got to be able to, you know, you've got to be willing to jump into the void. You know, what's your passion? What is
Yeah.
your passion? What is it?
This is
And
why.
why aren't you freaking doing it?
Yeah, exactly. And there's no excuse either because, like, you know, yeah, it's scary, but like I did it in a way that, you know, I had to leave the forestry because I didn't want to use Monsanto's products. And like using Monsanto's products was against my principles. And the universe sees that and it's like, is he going to do it? Is he just going to leave? And I was just like that there. I said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing it, you know? And I just walked out. I just had a child, you know, I had a mortgage to pay. And like to anybody else with a rational mind would have gone like, you just don't do that, you know? Everybody thought I'd gone crazy. And to a point, it's like, I just look past that because it's like, no, you hold to your principles, you know? And when you do that, the universe is like, fucking hey, mate, well done, you know? It's like, and then I did. And then I was like, right, I'm in the grace of God, do with me what you will, you know? And now, 3 years later, I'm here, sat here doing this, and I get to do what I love, and I don't do anything that I don't love to do in life. Like this last year, I have travelled around the UK visiting internet friends, that's it, who are like soulmates from previous parallel lifetimes, whatever you want to say. And I've gone around and I've really collected myself. And now I'm in a place where I'm just like, right, this is getting really interesting now. And it's exciting every day, you know? And I'm not doing loads. I'm just literally going out there and going like, what am I doing today? You know, follow the numbers, follow the signs, follow the synchronicities. And it will put you onto that highest timeline of what your ego mind hasn't got a clue what the potential is. But meeting up with people like you and doing the Qigongs and stuff like that, it's activating parts of my system that I wouldn't have done if I'd stayed in that comfortable, you know, reliably, not normal, what's the term I'm looking for? Almost like the same routine.
Oh, comfortable zone.
Yeah, comfortable zone. I moved out of it and I found what was brilliant in that place of discomfort. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, I did in that. Well, I was like I say about like living your passion. Find, you know, do your passion. I was doing that for a period. You know, I was still in the police and still doing that at unlimited things. So it's like if you can drop everything and do your passion, then freaking do it.
Yeah.
But if you can only do it for 1 hour a week, then do it for 1 hour a week at least. You know, do whatever the minimum is that you can do. Do that and a little bit more if you can. But do it and don't be apologetic. You know, don't you've got to you commit yourself to
Own
that.
who you are. Yeah.
Own who you are. Yeah, and do that. Like I said, I was in the police, so I had to be careful a little bit about what I said and what I did. But you know, so there was, you know, I was a little bit restrained, but I still did what I wanted. I still did that passion of doing that, and at the time, like in the police, because my shifts were totally changing, I couldn't even teach Qigong normally. I couldn't do a class, couldn't do a physical class because I just didn't. It was always random. So I started off way before COVID. I started off doing online stuff. I was doing online stuff. Well, I started doing online stuff round about 2008, but I was fully into it by 2016. About 8 years later, I was fully into it. But it was just adapting. It was adapting to when I could do it. So it's that thing of whatever your passion is, find a way to do it. You know, even if it's, you know, just a little bit every single week.
Yeah. You don't have to just drop everything and run like I did. But as most psychics have said to me, it's like, you're really brave. And I'm like, well, there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. It's like, But that's where there is no good or bad in any of it. Do you know what I mean?
But see, this is the point. Like I said, I feel like I waited and waited till the right moment. But to the people around me, I was a freaking nutter. To the people around me, I jumped into the void and was totally crazy. So that's the whole point: is that don't worry about whatever other people think, because there's an old saying I love, which is normal. What's normal? Normal is the average of weird. I'm the weirder weird. He's the weirder weird. It's be freaking weird and love. Be
courageous as well. That's
be authentic.
Yeah.
Be freaking yourself. If there's one thing I'd say, just be you.
Yeah.
Whoever that is, be it.
Yeah, and you know that.
And don't be apologetic about it.
No, that's it. Own who you are. That's it. David Goggins it, basically. That's it. Go out there and David Goggins it, And don't expect anybody else to understand it either, because they won't. From the level of consciousness of what most people are coming at, if they're in the lower rungs of that, up to 200 frequency of the scale of consciousness, they're living in a place where they're just trying to drag everybody back down into their bit, but unconsciously. So it's not their fault. It's not like there's anyone to blame there. Again, there's no good or bad. But once you start to step into that, above that, and then you get courage. First one on the rung is courage, and it's like all the psychics have said to us is like, you're very brave, And it's like, it's good to be brave in that. But I don't see it like that. I'm just like, no, I'm just moving on what I feel is right for me. And there is a level of like, even I still worry. I'm just like, am I doing the right thing or whatever it is? And it's like, no, hang on a minute. You're always doing the right thing.
And breathe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just breathe it out. Breathe in the chi, breathe out the cha. I mean, one thing I'd always like, one thing I learned a long time ago is that if you've got, haters or trolls, opposition, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
For two reasons.
Yeah.
The universe will throw like I say, he's going to be, he seems to be, like growing and building. Let's see what happens as a bit of conflict, and because there is no good or bad, there just is. So, they'll throw a little bit of a troll your way or a little bit of a hater, but also trolls and haters are trolls and haters because you're challenging their beliefs.
Yeah.
You're challenging what they feel is true because, Taoistically and in psychology, what is true, what you believe is true for you. Yeah. Perception, what you believe is real for you. Hence, this is why you get arachnophobia or phobias. Phobias are a belief.
Yeah, germaphobe or anything like that.
Yeah. And it becomes real because you believe it intently, and then you go into epigenetics, and epigenetics says whatever you think and feel will physically affect you. So like that's becoming real for you. So those people, you are challenging them so much that they can get vile and aggressive and nasty.
Because they're scared.
They're scared. So the best thing you can do, like at first you may feel, like it's like I was bullied at school as a kid. And at first I would react to it. And then I learned martial arts and I sort of I actually, for me, when I learned martial arts, I didn't want to fight. I learned martial arts to take a hit punch. So it's like, they can hit me and it won't hurt. And therefore I was no longer afraid because they couldn't hurt me. Because they couldn't hurt me by hitting me. And then I gained this philosophy: if I can take the mickey out myself better than anybody else, they can't hurt me with that neither.
Yeah, exactly.
So I became sort of like indestructible because, like, you hit me, I just laugh at you. And then you try to take the mickey out. Is that the best you can do? Is that the best you can freaking do?
It's like punching a bag of water, like metaphorically, isn't it? It's like, I can't. Just leave it alone.
And you just wait. And there's that. Well, there's actually a move in Tai Chi that's literally that. It's like, there's somebody tries to punch you. You just deflect, and you just waste. You're wasting energy. You burn yourself out. the shin down method is a slightly more funnier, at least for me, is that if you try to hit me, I just turn your fist around and punch yourself in the face because it's called shin. Yeah, I've done that so many times. But I'll punch somebody with their own fist. Why are you hitting yourself? Anyway, that's a Sifu joke. But yeah, it's the whole point of it's like haters. They can
only get at you if you allow them to. That's it, and they can't actually hurt you. Physically they can hurt you and things, but really when they're punching you, they are punching a version of themselves as well, and that's what they don't realize, and they're actually getting disempowered by doing that. It's like, but again, that's all that perception. It takes a level of awareness above that to be able to acknowledge that and just, it's like Jeshua says, turn the other cheek, hit me there. Yeah, go on. And one on there, It's only hurting you. It's not hurting me, Physically, cool, yeah, but that is just disempowering for people. But that's it, that's it.
But hey, what do we know?
What do we know? Awesome shit.
Awesome shit, indeed. I always say, what do we know? And he says, awesome shit.
Awesome shit.
Well, actually, we could quite easily, we both say the same thing now. Hey, what do we know? Some shit.
Exactly. Awesome shit, but what do I know? Yeah.
Indeed,
this is only what I know currently as well. And that's it. It's like, but there are certain things that key into like slotting into the truth of consciousness for us, because it's like, yeah, that works, that resonates, and then it's like you can go on to the next one. And that's what I'd say to people as well, is like, or for myself, moreover, it's like I used to be a time when I'd be out of work, and it was after I'd had my first awakening and I'd sort of died into myself and come back. I was just out on the hill and I'd get these, what you would call a download, like it felt like something just went wonk into my awareness. And then I was able to just go, oh my God, yeah, that's true for me. Like simple sayings like every time we tell a lie, we create a false version of ourselves that we eventually have to undo. And I was like, yeah, of course, because like we're building a persona, a character about who we think we are. And none of that's actually true. It's just what's being formed. And it's like the more we do that, the more we have to keep up and use energy to purvey that lie to the world. And then it's like, so the best thing, and one of the most cliche sayings that has come to me on this journey is the truth will set you free. And be totally radically honest. It's like Sifu's saying about, own who you are, in all aspects, it's just like, certain things I'm embarrassed about, it's like, or society maybe wouldn't like, somebody who's at this level of consciousness can't do that. It's like, I smoke cigars, I go on sunbeds, it's like, those things to me are like, oh, can I admit that? And it's like, yeah, why the fuck not, It's like, be who you are. It doesn't matter what anybody else's perception is of you, because they're probably struggling with some aspect of themselves, and it's got nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with you, what anybody else is firing at you or trying to change in you. Just go, no, it's fine, you do you. And I've done that with people on this journey, as people have come up to me and go, oh, I can't believe you're not vegan, or I can't believe that this and that. And then I notice immediately within them, there's a shame complex or a guilt complex that hasn't been brought to awareness yet. So instead of them changing it in themselves, they'll then fight the outside veil of reality to change so it can be happy about itself. Or maybe it's that, like, swearing or something like that. It's like, it's a shame complex, and they're going like, don't swear. And it's like, it's coming from a child part of them that's going Mum used to hit me when I swore, and I don't want you to get hit. So in essence, it's all coming from love. It's just a bit muddled, and that's the beautiful thing, because then you can have compassion for everybody. Doesn't mean that you have to stay in situations that are really bad for you and detrimental to you. Don't do that. It's like, set boundaries with yourself first and foremost of what your values are, what you will allow and what you won't allow. And if those boundaries are crossed, bye-bye. You don't have to stay around that energy. It's really, and this empowers you to become sovereign as well. And it will let everybody filter your reality in, so it makes harmony and peace. And then you start to connect with people that you really, really resonate with. That's it,
And I'll just bring up. So I went to India once, and when I went to India, with my Sifus, we met yogis, and the yogis, originally my idea of yoga, you just stretch and meditation. That was it. My naive view. Met these guys, and they were freaking awesome. stick fighters. They were fighting on my stick, and it's like after a couple of hours of this, I sort of said, "You fight," and it's like, "Well, yes, we do." And I said, "Well, I thought you were all about spirituality." Yes, we are, but here in India, there are bandits. And they will take everything from you.
Yeah.
They will, and it's like we are about love and compassion.
But you can't be naive. That's
Yeah,
it, yeah.
but there has to be a point. And same in like Buddhism, like the Buddhists or in the Shaolin. So the what Shaolin means, the wooded area, the wooded monks. So the Shaolin monks, the ones who wear the orange robes, so they're Buddhists. Again, they learned to fight to firstly get for fitness and protection, but eventually it was actually to activate their spirituality. So hence in martial arts, so people think martial arts is all about fighting. Only in the West. In the East, martial arts is about personal development. Martial arts is about learning about oneself and how to connect with your divinity. And to a point, there's this thing this thing called the 3 M's, which is martial, medical, and meditational. So all these techniques of kung fu, to qigong and tai chi, is that there's a martial side to them, and martial is only partly fighting. It's actually about fitness. It's about getting yourself fit. Fighting fit is fit. You get fit. Well, you also happen to be fighting fit as well, but protecting oneself is protecting oneself on the outside, but also the inside. So that's the martial side. Then there's the medical side, which is self-healing. Now, in my world, you get a lot of people say, "Oh, I do medical qigong." All freaking qigong is medical qigong. All freaking qigong is martial, and all freaking qigong is spiritual. There is no in between. There is no this is only this, or it's not that.
Holistic.
It's only this.
Holistic.
Well, there's an interesting thing in Tai Chi where certain people went, "Oh no, we don't do fighting Tai Chi. We only do spiritual Tai Chi," and they ended up because they didn't do the fighting side, but they didn't actually understand body mechanics. They actually started hurting their knees. They put their knee too fast past their toes, which weared their knee joint away. So it became Tai Chi knee injury because they weren't doing the martial side. They weren't understanding body mechanics, which stops you from hurting yourself. But also body mechanics is also about alignment of the energy and the meridians. And so it's not just a fighting thing. It's the fighting actually stops you from hurting yourself and helps you to heal yourself and activate your consciousness more and your spirituality
it
more.
All builds on one another, and that's it.
Yeah, they're all
that's
intertwined.
A massive part of this. Like I see, like myself as well, at certain points on the journey, I would only focus on one area of it and think that was enough, And it's like, like the yin yang shows, it's like, you could say it's the yang and the yin, or the masculine and the feminine, the light and the dark. You've got to balance everything in order to become whole and one with everything. And I notice on certain people on this journey, it's like they'd only focus on yoga and they wouldn't focus on the emotional side, or they wouldn't focus on the energetic side or the shadow, and they deny parts of their shadow, and the universe screams at people like, come on, you'd be drawing tarot cards, and it's literally going like, "Oh no, that's the worst rune in the thing," and they put it back in the thing, and I'd just be like, "Oh God, how else can you?" It's like there are no coincidences, and it's like when you're getting these things, you can't be in denial of it, because it's like you're just only doing yourself a disservice at the end of the day. But there has to be mind, body, and spirit. All of them three, the Trinity, the three together. That's the way to really move forward, so that you are balanced, and you're stable. You're not out of whack. You're not wobbly.
And that goes into, but it also goes into. It also is the feminine, the masculine, and the sacred child. Is that as I kick the camera? Is that the whole point? Is that those three? You have the divine feminine in you, you have the divine masculine in you, and you have the sacred child in you. My favourite saying, whether you're woman, man, banana, or goat. all of them have the feminine, the masculine, and the sacred child. and over the years, people, I'm focusing on my divine feminine. Awesome. What about the other one? What about the other two? I'm focusing on the divine masculine. Awesome. Well, we sort of like said about like the whole masculine thing, like the divine masculine, is that don't forget the sacred child. Have a freaking laugh. Take the pee out yourself. Take the Mickey.
Watch comedy.
Yourself. Yeah, well, because
it's a spiritual practice. Everything's spiritual, but like watching comedy for me is one of the biggest parts of this journey for me because I laugh, I connect to my heart, I don't take everything too seriously. And watching good comedians like Paul Smith, he's fantastic. The Scouser guy, he's just brilliant, eh? And he doesn't care, and he just shares all of these stories, even about him getting like bummed by his missus with a strap. All of this stuff is just like, he is who he is. And I so respect and love that. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I just don't care anymore. And that's it. Bill Hicks, fantastic, he does not care at all. Like, he's free, and you can feel their energy, especially comedians. They are like divine conduits from the higher dimensions. Jim Carrey, Limmy in Scotland, Billy Connolly, it's like fantastic. That should be as much of a spiritual practice if you need one, but it isn't. It's more just about your day-to-day stuff that you do, falling into that routine of it has to do this and have to do that. It's adding a pressure to something that should be joyous and fun, and I think that's what a lot of people miss. But for
decades, for at least 2, if not 3 decades, I've said everybody takes life too bloody seriously, and I found that in I've got to be a little bit careful. Well, I'm not careful at all, sod it. In spiritual community, I find people but they're so serious, and so even if they do some fun stuff, it's done in a serious, freaking way. It's like,
now, everybody, for half an hour, we're going to have so much fun. And you're just like, oh, for God's sake, like, you just want to slap them, like, It is, structured.
I may have initially,
Exactly. Yes.
So, you gotta, you just gotta let go. You just gotta, but so many times, it's like never take yourself or anybody else too seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like even still now, I get this thing where I get people who come on and say, oh, he's a master. And it's like, I have to, there is no good about it, just is. But I have an issue with that word because a lot of people see master, top of the thing, you know everything, you are the holics. Yeah. I'm a Sifu, I'm a guide. I'm the finger pointing. I point the way, and everything is your guide. Everything is your Sifu. And Sifu is sort of like a parent. So that's supposed to be loving and caring, and supposed to be there for you. Not all parents are, but that's what you're meant to be. You're meant to be for yourself and others. That guide. So I'm not a master. I don't know everything. I really don't. But also more importantly, I'm quite happy to say, said to Sam, is like, I can cook, I can fix bones, I can heal, but I can, put a cupboard up. I don't freaking know what to do. And to be honest, I don't overly want to, waste my chi on that. I'd rather get somebody who's really good at that and let them, because that's their skill, let them do the things that I'm not good at. And I really do believe, the irony is like I have in the back of my head, my dad would always say, oh, you've got to learn everything, you've got to do everything. It's like, why? Why would I waste my time doing something that's not my passion? Why rather than get somebody who can do that for you? And that's the one thing, like when people say, you got to do this, you got to do that, and it's like, but no. But
do what you love. Do what you love, and whatever else is like, find somebody else to do it. But because we've been in a society that's so like independently based, isn't it? And like asking for help is such a weakness as such, and it's like, nah, man, like, I must say, like, because I understand energy and I'm fascinated by a lot of different things, I am generally quite good at a lot of things.
But it doesn't mean I want to do everything all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's certain things that I don't like doing, you know. It's like I'm trying to think of something that I don't like doing, but I can't right now. But like, that's it, you know. But it's
bloody
like,
know-it-all.
Yeah, everybody used to get at me for
Hey,
that.
I'm a bloody know-it-all. You know, see, that's the thing I love, because I love knowledge. So I love information.
I'm just curious. I'm so curious.
So there's lots of things that I've got at least an idea on, but you know, I will say, you know, like you know, or one of the things you used to got for the police was Google's your best friend. You know, Google or a search engine, whichever one you prefer.
Yeah, YouTube.
You know,
like, you can do that, can you?
Literally, YouTube. Oh, you know, we might just say the swear word on here, but anyway. But that thing that we just said, you know, you literally find anything on there. You can literally find anything. You know, you learn anything on there. And that's the freaking point. And I think the biggest thing.
The internet's beautiful.
You know,
basically.
I said I love tech. I love technology. Don't want it implanted in my brain, thank you very much, or my body. Yeah. But I love wearable tech, or I love tech. You know, I love the internet. I think the internet's awesome. If you know, if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't know each other right.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
That's a real big thing as well, because like this whole year, without the internet, there's no way that I would have been like half as happy, because like I wouldn't be able to connect with everybody. And I think like the hippies in the 60s, they had the right idea, do you know what I mean, with the way they were going about things, but it was never going to work in the 60s. No. It was just doomed to fail. Yeah. Because there's no way that you'd be able to actually implement all of this stuff without the mass media getting involved and controlling it.
You don't know how many hippies I've upset by saying that, but it's true.
It's true.
It's true. But now, it's just not going to work better.
There's that renaissance of it now, isn't there? And it's just like now we have the internet, which is such a beautiful tool because it interconnects us all. Even before we're able to realize that we can do it all ourselves through our consciousness, we can meet each other in states of consciousness. When you understand that you are one thing, get over the limiting beliefs, then you can literally transcend, or not transcend, but you can transfer information between one another in the knowing that you are that other person as well. That's why telekinesis and like, you know, telekinesis, it's coming online as well. You see all these people with the crystals on their hands and they're going like, and it's knocking the crystal off and they're not actually touching it, and all that stuff's coming online now because we're starting to realise that we can do all that stuff again. It's a fascinating time, man. But thanks to the internet, like how many of yous on your journey, like on the awakening journey, if it wasn't for the internet, you would have gone mental. You would have lost it. But it's the fact that the what you call it comes online and you're like, oh, what's a dark night of the soul? Oh, thank God. Oh, this is normal, you know. And then you're able to connect with other people who are going through same stuff. What a blessing.
What the biggest thing about awakening? Thank you. But the biggest thing about awakening is the first thing, everything goes inverted, everything goes tits up. You know, everything's changing, and you think, I'm insane. I'm going freaking insane. And the internet, you suddenly see, or by at least being open and talking to other people, you find that you're not freaking crazy. Well, some of us.
Surrounding smell.
I think I'm doomed. But anyway, don't worry about me. I'm fine. But you realise that there's others out there, and like I say,
you're crazy too. Apparently.
but I mean, one thing I've always said, I love. It was quite funny that a lot of Tai Chi and Qigong teachers that I knew did not want to touch the internet originally. Back in 2008, or even before then, they wouldn't touch it. And I was like, but like if you wherever you are. Most people won't travel more than about 30 miles, depending what country you're in. Some countries they'll go further than because they have to. But UK, 30 miles is the limit. If you're lucky, that people will travel to you either for a one-to-one or a massage or even a class. But on the internet, I've got people the other side of the world. I've got people everywhere. I've had people in Australia, New Zealand, even China, Philippines. I've had people all over the world as students. like learning and and vice versa, and learn from other people all over the world. So this is awesome. But, little but, the but, don't let this be your world. Remember, there's one out there.
Yeah. That's it.
Go out there and breathe and put your feet in the ground, earthing,
Hug a tree.
and listen to the trees, hug the tree. Go and meet a few people.
Middle path. Middle path with everything.
It's a balance. The Tao means balance, and it's a balance. Like, this is awesome, but don't forget out there. Don't forget this real stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's real.
I think I'm real. That's
Yeah. So
walk in the middle.
And so I'll let you guys into a little secret. So my Sifu's followed a certain Taoist path, so the waterway and the Tai Chi way, and they would give you a symbol, and you were meant to meditate on that symbol until it revealed something to you. They're very mystic in that. Like, it would reveal something. It's like, what the frick does that mean? And it's like, well, meditate on it and find out. So this symbol, so a lot of people call this yin yang. Okay, well, probably because the white bit is yin. That's not yang. Get it right, Sifu. The white bit is yang.
There's another camera up here, by the way.
And
there's another camera down here, by the way.
Yeah. And the black bit is yin. So these two, and the reason it's called Tai Chi is because when you meditate on it, or at least when I meditated on it, I suddenly saw this doing this. This started spiraling. It started doing that. And then what I can't do with this one, it then inverted on itself to go the other way. And I also saw that it was spherical. And when I told my Sifus that, they went, next level. Or, you have achieved that understanding. So all these ancient symbols are not 2D. They're not written down. They're actually something far deeper. There's something far more to them. You're meant to meditate them, or you meditate on a candle. Go and focus on the candle. Apart from it'll imprint the candle in your eyes for a couple of hours. Focus on the candle. Tell me what you see. You're going to go get a candle at some point, and I would tell Sam on his, or come onto mine, Sifu Boggie onto mine, and go and meditate for an hour on a candle, and tell me after an hour of pure, so you may build up to this one, just for an hour, focus on that candle, tell me what you see. Because I'll tell you, it's more than just a candle. You'll see, because my traditionally had to do this with a glass of water. Focus on the water and tell me what you see. That's what my Sifu said. And all these symbols, they're all multi-dimensional. They all mean so much more than what they are. That's why
the immediate perception of it.
That's why you have drawings, or that's why there are certain pyramids that are not supposed to exist in Tibet or other places that actually have laser carved into them Tai Chi symbols, or the flower of life, and it's like, how's it laser carved? That's supposed to be 2, 3, 4, 5,000 years old. How's that laser carved? Well, don't worry about that. I mean, that's a whole mind blow on its own. But these symbols are alive. They are information. They're there to go forwards. The Tao Te Ching, the I Ching in the East, they have information embedded in them. But so does the Quran, so does the Bible, like the Hebrew version of the Bible. Look up the Bible Code. And there's a book called the Bible Code, and it's all about the Hebrew language and the book written in Hebrew. I've heard about the Quran is the same. Now, that was written, but when you write something down, it's not just what you're writing, it's what you're sending into that writing. It's the energy. It's like a word, It's like, I can say cheese. I can say cheese. Or I can say cheese.
Yeah.
Cheese.
Intention.
It's the intent in there. Like songs. Like, think of a song. You can have the same song, but you can change it from pop into reggae, into into classical. You know, literally, like, think of a song, your favourite song, and then think, what would it sound like if it was suddenly a reggae song? And if it is a reggae song, what would it sound like if it was hard rock? What would it sound like if it was classical? What would it? And you're changing the energy. You're flipping the energy. So intention of what you say is very important. And I don't know if I've quite said this here, but so when I hear people talk, or I'm doing massage, or when I'm doing my qigong classes during the day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 4:45, little plug. When I do, you'll see me look off to the side, and I'm sensing the energy, I'm feeling the energy. So when somebody talks, or if like somebody says, or if I say a chair, so I've suddenly got in my head 5,000 chairs. So okay, a wooden chair with a blue leather seat. It's so now narrowing down, and so when I hear words, I'm seeing the actual, like visualization, but I'm also feeling the energy of those words as well. So when somebody tells me about their, what's going on in their life or something, I'm actually feeling the energy of it, and I'm actually literally, like, to me, it's almost tangible. So I'm not just hearing something, I'm feeling it, I'm seeing it, I'm almost becoming it, I'm tasting it. So it's the whole idea is that things are so much more than you first perceive, and where are you? Do you just hear words? Do you feel words? Do you taste words? Do you see words? Do you see what somebody's saying to you? Because like somebody talks to somebody a lot of the time, it's like they're not even listening because they're thinking of what they want to say in their head or next. And it's like, do you actually listen? Do you truly listen?
Are you truly present?
Like I'm talking there, boom. When he said that, boom, I'm focusing on that. It's be present in the now. And that now is right now.
When? Then? No, now.
Yeah, now. No, now. But it's it's an interesting concept that, because, and when somebody's talking about the past, they're talking about the now. Because they're living that past. And that's what you've got to be careful of. Whatever you're thinking, if you think a lot about the past, you're bringing it into the now. So if you're talking about trauma, you're bringing that trauma into the now. So be careful what you talk about.
Create, isn't it? Yeah.
And be careful what you think about.
What space you're creating from. And that's it. A lot of the people on the lives and things, they're like, oh, I had a really shitty day and this has happened, but is it happening now?
Yeah.
No. But I am creating it now by pulling it forward, and I'm in control of that. And that's what people don't realise, is that they're actually creating that or they're pulling that negativity, not from the past. The past doesn't exist, it's gone. And this is what Alan Watts says. It's like, you have no obligation to be the person you were 5 minutes ago. You can just choose to, that's done now. You know what I mean? But because of all these attachments and things like this, and there are energetic things, but moreover, I think it's just created from a place of thought. Thought is the infinite creator. Nothing happened without, first you have that stimulus of thought, where that comes from. Divine, who knows, it's like there is no original thought. This gets back to the channelings of what we were saying before, how there is no original thought. So like anything that wants to happen, and I was saying this the other day, it's like, I want another cup of tea. I've had the thought, what are the steps to me getting that cup of tea? And that's this like simple manifestation for people. We overcomplicate it. So you have the intention, you go, I've already got a cup of tea in the future because now I'm going to go and do it. And it's as simple as that with anything else. It's like, I want to create this, but then it'll just be mental blocks or thoughts that maybe stop you from doing that thing, because of we're drawing from the past. Oh, no, last time I did that. Yeah, but it doesn't matter what the last time was. I had a mind temple on that the other day.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What is this for? What?
You got to slide the thing across.
Why?
That's it, into there to prove that you're still here. That's it.
Oh, right.
This hasn't done it, actually. I don't know.
Oh, I'm still here. Hello. Can't you see me? TikTok.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah, it was Oasis. So Oasis, right? I said with Michael Jackson as well. Like, there was a time when Michael Jackson woke up at 3 a.m, the usual time when you get massive downloads of information, and he ran through to his producer and was just like, quick, we've got to do this now, Gary. I don't know if it was called Gary, but it's like, we've got to do this now, Gary, you know? It's like, they've just given me this. And he said, like, they, as in, like, higher dimensional beings, had given him Earth Song. I'm sure it was Earth Song, or, Earth Song, or they don't really care about us, or one or the other anyway. Irrelevant. It was a song, you know, a real prominent song that seems to activate people now. But anyway, getting off topic. So he ran through to his producer's room at 3 a.m. and was like, we've got to get this down now, you know. And the producer was like, no, man, like, go sleep. We'll do it in the morning and stuff, you know. And he's like, no. They've said if I don't get this down now, they're going to give it to Prince. So, like, these songs were always going to come into our awarenesses, you know. And it's same with Oasis as well, because Oasis, you listen to the lyrics in Oasis songs, you listen to the lyrics in Beatles songs, you listen to the lyrics by Stone Roses, like anybody really, you know. It's like they've got them from higher place. Not anybody actually, because there's some lower. Anyway, we're going to. Anyway, it's like
that's a whole different tangent.
We'll talk about the nice ones, but you listen to songs like Master Plan by Oasis, or you listen to Earth Song by Michael Jackson, or Second Coming album Tightrope by Stone Roses, and you listen to them and you're like, it's all about the divine, man, it's all about God, it's all about source energy. And that's why, like, Oasis were so good and so well known, because them two were like, we are the best band on the planet, and they believed it, and my God, did they believe it. And they put that energy out there, and everyone's like, yeah, shit, you guys are amazing. It's like, we know, you know. It's like, and that's the sort of confidence that we could have within ourselves, and it would create such a better planet, you know. Maybe not to the degree of Oasis, you know, but it's like having that self-belief and that self-worth. And that's what Michelle Vickers was saying in the podcast that I just did with her. Go watch it; it's really good, and buy a book as well. She's awesome. Really good. Yeah. Boggie's going to be on it as well. That's it. What was I saying about that? Michelle was saying about self-worth. One thing that humanity has a massive problem with right now, the biggest challenge that humanity has, and I recognise this within myself, and I'm sure within yourself as well. It's like self-worth and like putting yourself out there and allowing yourself to be judged, and like be in that place of discomfort, and like you're going to piss people off, and you just got to go, sod it, I'm going to do it anyway, you know. And it's like, and you can't keep everybody happy all the time. And if you're trying to do that and you're trying to keep everybody happy all the time, like you said, you're doing it wrong. You've got to have enemies or people who don't like you, because that shows that you are stepping out of that place of conformity and normality, and you're stepping into a place of like, yeah, here we go, I'm going to do this for me, you know. And in doing it for you, you're helping the planet and everything like ascend together, you know. It's like,
I went into my dark night of the soul, and I went into like a big wad of depression because I was trying to do things for my dad, which was being in the police, and being in the police because it was so against who I am, you know, that I couldn't be my serious self. That's, you know, that I literally went into depression. I literally went into, you know, I tried to commit suicide when I was a kid, and my best friend made me promise, you know, I'd never do that again. So I couldn't go past that because I'd made this promise, and I would keep to this promise. But I was seriously dark place because I wasn't being authentic. I wasn't being freaking me. And then totally changed the subject, sort of, but it sort of goes round. You're saying about songs. Do you remember Soul to Soul?
Soul to Soul?
No. So there's a song, if you look up Soul 2 and then Soul, and there's a song called Back to Life, Back to Reality, Back to the Here and Now. Yeah. That's about coming back from death. That was actually, it was literally about, it's the person who wrote it literally had a near-death experience, and that's what that song's about.
Fantastic.
And I only found that out this year. You know, it is like, but there's so many songs that when you actually, they're actually talking about something you don't realise what they're freaking talking about, but they're actually, you know, they're meant to be out there. They're meant to be, you know. So the biggest thing is like, whatever you're into, that is. That is what you're meant to do. That is your divine. That is your divinity. That's the divine showing you your divinity for the universe, showing you what you're meant to do. Now, you know, somebody could say, "Oh, yeah, but well, what? You know, like, well, I'm into tiddlywinks." Which is like the little discs, you flip them, and it's like, well, how's that divine? It's like. One thing I learned is there was an entrepreneur that said that whatever your passion is, there's somebody else out there who loves it, and therefore would be willing to pay for you to teach them how to do it, or willing to pay for you to do it so they can get pleasure from it. And it goes into that. Whatever, you know, sewing, tiddlywinks, out there somewhere, people will get pleasure from you doing that, and that's why you're here. You're here to give them pleasure, to raise their vibration. From that one thing. So whatever it is, you know, whatever your skill is, you know, like, start doing it. Because I will say this: I guarantee. In the next 100 years, so make sure you keep around for it. But I guarantee that we're getting to a point where you will be, you know, that the society will go to a point where they will want you to be in your passion, and they'll pay you for, or 100%. People will trade or pay you for you being in your passion.
That's why you're here.
I believe that. 100%. I fully believe that.
I do too, exactly, and that's what I did. Now I don't do anything that I don't love to do. You know, I love connecting with the people on the calls. I love doing lives like this. I love expanding my own consciousness, and I know that other people love to expand their consciousness as well. Yeah, Radford, man, you know, it's like, this is why we're here. It's to be divinely in our essence, our truest essence, in whatever that is. And that's why I say, do what you love, and somebody will pay you to do it. Yeah, however ridiculous you think it is, if it's sock puppets or whatever, there is a way. With the internet, this is a beautiful medium in which to share what it is that you love to do, you know, and through that, somebody will pay you to do it, you know, handsomely as well. You know, some weird knicker sniffers out there, do you know what I mean? It's like, even if that's your thing, go and do that. Whatever you love to do, you know, be who you are, show that authenticity, because that's all we've come here to do, is do that. And most of us are working jobs that we're like, meh, not really happy with, you know what I mean? And that isn't benefiting you first and foremost, and it's not benefiting the collective either. Like, it's a weird and wonderful world out there, and we come here to experience it all, and there is no good or bad in it. So go out there and shine a light on what it is that you love to do, and somebody will pay you to do it. The internet is there. Have the bravery to own who you are. Like James Slag on Instagram and things, you know, he just goes around, I like walking in bogs, I do, and it's like, oh, I can feel it all squelchy in my thing. He's got like millions of followers now, and that's what he does. He's fantastic.
You know, like Train Spot guy.
The guy with the camera on his head.
And like to the fact, well, I thought it was funny where you know, he's so innocent and he likes fun, and then he's not real, he's fake. He's, you know,
because them people, they're the ones who are just like, oh, he's doing what he loves, and he's been silly, and I'm not silly at all, so he must step down back into the bucket, and that's that lower rung. That's the below 200 state of consciousness. They will try and drag you down, but they're there to make you stronger, so that you do go at it and just go, sod off, get off my ankle, you know what I mean? I'm climbing out of this. It's Plato's Cave. Everybody's still watching the movie screen, and the puppets, blah, 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 and we've gone like, hang on a minute, guys, just, have you seen it out here, guys? And they're just like, no, don't go out there, it's scary. And it's like, but there's a world of infinite possibility out there, guys. I'm just going to shake my ankle, get off, bye. You know, you can catch up if you want to, it's up to you, you know, shine a light, do whatever it is, write down what it is that you love to do.
If it's painting, go and paint. If it's trains, go and watch trains. If it's whatever, there is a medium for you to go and share that with.
100%.
You know what I mean? And like, I don't do anything I don't love to do. I love traveling. I love meeting people. I love going and experiencing stuff. Now I love doing qigong. I love the energy movement. I love healing people. I love healing myself. It's like, fantastic. Yeah. It's like, there's no excuse now not to do it, other than those limiting thoughts that are going like, oh, but if I did that, my dad won't like it, or if I did that, then I'd have to leave that job that's safe and secure and boring.
Oh, blimey! Did I leave a job that was safe and secure?
Yeah.
You know, you know,
Would have drove me mental.
That was, you know, and for a long time it was, you know, it's like, oh well, you know, eventually I was leading. Well, which funny enough now, next year I'm 55, and I'm so you know, this is about how I've known people at 90 that finally did what they wanted to do, and then it's the whole, I wish they don't. No, they can't. You can't worry about what age you are, and
as long as you find it,
find it, and you're never too old. That's the one thing, I say about qigong, is that you're never too old to learn qigong. I've had people. My oldest student was 96.
Yes.
Like 96 years old. He lived. His wife died. His daughter was very concerned about him and brought him to the class, and he was really frail. And like we started off with seated stuff, and we slowly built up, and he died at 106. And like he said, like it was the qigong that gave him that extra 10 years, but also he lived his life to the fullest in that last 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, he changed everything because he suddenly had a reason to. And it's that thing, you're never too old. Don't think that whatever it is, not just with me talking about qigong touchy, you're never too old. There's always something you can do. So I was actually going to. So there's one here from, I think it's Haslam.
There is no devil ghosty either.
I'd like to say
it's all one thing.
Yeah, I'd like to say I judge the man by the charity work. I have 30 years worth of free charity work. That's cool, but that always reminds me of the Smashy and Nicey. The two DJs, they say, oh, we did charity work, but we don't like to talk about it. Well, but you know, the bit we did last week, and that bit we did last week, and it's like
false virtue.
Actually, I will admit. So back in my 20s, I did. I did like there was a course where you could do massage, volunteer massage for the Red Cross, and I did that, and I was doing it, and then I suddenly realised, I was like, why aren't people, you know, I'm doing this charity work for the Red Cross, and people don't seem to give a shit, and it's like, and then I went, oh, hold up, whoa, ego, you know, is that. Why, you know, do things because you want to do them. Don't do them for sort of reason, you know. So like, you know, like no offense, but you know, like charity work, do it because you want to do charity work. Do it because helping people is a good thing for you. You know, because that's the thing. It's not just it's the right thing to do. It's got to make you smile.
Yeah,
it's got to make.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you'll find something. You doing what you love will help people, and that's where the chat. You know, that's the good charities. Doing things for people that you love, and doing that rather than just doing charity work for charity's sake. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying I did. Well, at one stage, I did that. Or caught myself suddenly getting a bit pissed off that people, you know, I would say, I do this for the Red Cross. And nobody cared. Nobody gave a shit. So it's like, don't do it for you. Don't do it for others.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. Because if in that transcends to anything as well, you know, if you're working out, you know, some of the most insecure people that I know are people, and it's no judgment to them. It's just an observation. But some of the most insecure people that I know are the people who pretend to, like, who work out to the nth degree and are really strong and all this sort of stuff. They're doing it because they want to walk into the gym and have other people go, oh, look at him, he's really not like that. And you realise the insecurity locked up in these people. If you're doing it for yourself, then you get this emanation of energy. Rather than when you're working out, you feel drained because it's like, I'm doing this because I want to look really good for other people and everything. Not to say that you don't love your own body, but you do it as a place of real wholeness within yourself, you know. And it's like most of the guys who are in these real strongman competitions, vastly insecure people, you know.
Oh yeah,
and it's something. Yeah, totally. That's it. A friend of mine, you know, it's like, or an old friend of mine. He sort of exposed himself almost with that, you know, and it's like he wasn't doing it for the self-respect. He was doing it for an external respect. And if you're doing it from that place, universe will always teach you, no, that's not the way, you know. And it's like you'll feel your energy going down. I'm going to work out because I want to do this, and it's like this. And a lot of it's unconscious as well. If they were conscious of it, they'd be doing it for yourself, you know. And it's like David Goggins, like he doesn't care about anybody else. It's like him, his small team, and that's it. And he's happy. He is a master at what he does, you know, and he really is. I think, you know, he's got it down. He's like, I don't care enough about what other people think about me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and you can see he's happy. He's not bothered. There's nothing you can say to that guy that's going to bring him down, because it's just like, I don't care if you don't like me. It's not nothing to do with you, what I'm doing with my life. And then you'll notice people then don't bother with him at all, you know. And it's like he's brilliant. He was a teacher on my path, like right at the start. You know, he came in strong, and he really taught me about that self-discipline for yourself. And I haven't held this all the time. You fall back into these things, but having an admittance of that is key awareness for yourself, so that you can keep, you know, you then stop making those mistakes in life, you know, because none of us are perfect. Yeah, don't put us on pedestals. We're just rumbling along as we are. But the more we realize, the more we prioritize laughter and joy. And I think that's why we've come together, because we've been having conversations, and like we notice in men's circles and all of these spiritual groups and things like that, and it's like there's a lack of comedy in it, you know. It's like, what was the one thing, did I mention this tonight, or was it yesterday? It's like the one thing that I would implement into all of these men's gathers that are really serious, and we praise to the north and the south and the east and the west and all this stuff. Yeah, where's the laughter? Why is nobody having any fun here? Do you know what I mean? It's like, like, be daft, you know. It's like, they asked me at the end of the men's gather, like, what would be the one thing that you would implement into this in the future? And I was just like, I would have comedians every single day to break it up a bit, you know, to make everybody's shoulders, you know, just, cool, you know, connect to this massively, you know, because it's all very well doing inner child work and crying it all out and sitting there and oming and, oh yeah, and I hear you, and like looking deep into each other's eyes. But like, you got to round it off with a bit of comedy, you know, for me anyway. But I think that's where we're going to be reaching out into. Definitely a place for it.
To me, you know, if you know me, you know, I'm serious about what I do, but I don't take myself seriously. You know, it is, I will laugh and joke and do, because to me, the sacred child is really freaking important. It's about, you know, lifting your spirits, lifting your heart, raising that vibration. And I find, you know, the problem I've always had with the spiritual community, and even like, you know, dare I say it? Yes, I dare. The pagan community, which is like, not, you know, so the spiritual community, but like pagans and whatnot. Druids, they're too freaking serious. And serious, you being too serious also leads to politics. Politics, many ticks, draining your blood. And you know, my belief is better than yours, and this is right and you're wrong, and it gets all too serious.
Yeah, it splits off into division again, doesn't it? Yeah, it's like,
but like the humour is like, or you know, it's like, you know, like I can like go, I often will say a whole load of stuff and then go, hey, what do I know? Or blah, blah, blah. Because, you know, never take yourself or anybody else too seriously, because that's where ego comes in. That's where you get stuck in your forebrain and it gets too serious and you lose the freaking point. You know, everything goes out the freaking window
Yeah.
because you're stuck in that ego. You know, you've got to keep heartfelt. The child is here.
Yeah.
You know, sacred child is in your heart.
But there's something about this that is actually really important as well, I feel, because it's not just, you know, oh, it's a bit silly and all the rest of it. Humor protects us, yeah? Like, it's like I've been getting so many messages off the internet and stuff, and it's like Ricky Gervais, you know, it's like, he's been saying, you know, and it's like, and I'm not full with what he says about everything, do you know what I mean? It's read between the lines, but I really like the guy for the fact that he's got the bollocks to go out there and actually speak his mind and let people be offended, and also take the piss out of himself and take the piss out of them. Because what it does, that's what the powers that were have done here, is they've made everything so serious that we are missing the point to a certain degree as far as I see it. And I feel as though I've come into this reality now for this time to connect with beautiful human beings such as Sifu, so that we can actually like bring this humor to it, because it goes beyond, like, it's a level of protection around us, I feel. And I know that because it's like the darkness only controls us through us giving consent to it. Yeah, it's a big, big thing, this, because like once we start realizing that we hold all that power, and the more that we can laugh in the face of adversity, even if the world is in absolute chaos, and you can just start going like, no way they're doing that now. Like, they have no control over you. The leash is fully off you and you are free and you are in touch with your divinity. Hence why in Tai Chi or Qigong, the connection to the heart center is Ha. It's Ha for a reason. It's Ha because you're laughing and you are going blah, 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 blah. And like Sifu was telling me about this story about the Russian prison. Can I say about that sort of thing? Right. So, for instance, like there was a poltergeist that was in this Russian prison. Yeah, this is fascinating.
Actually,
several. Yeah. And this is how it is. These poltergeists are like parasites, and they're like the parasitic energies that are they're trying to control the earth right now, you know. And it's like, good, yes, the people are going down, good, because this means that this is real, it's true. It's like, this is it. It's like, so basically, look at this as a microcosm, okay? This beautiful human being went into this prison, and like the guards there are shit scared of all of these poltergeists and multiple poltergeists that are like slamming doors on people's fingers, all this sort of stuff, yeah? And they're causing all this harm. But because he's going in such an elevated state of joy and peace, they can't touch him, and everything fell silent. Yeah? Think about this in the terms of what's going on in the world at the moment. If we're laughing at everything and going like, nah, don't have to pay any attention to that, the powers that were like, uh-oh, real powerful beings here, because they're the ones who are laughing at everything, you know. And it's not like, oh, in that laughter, oh, we can get in and get them. No, you can't, because we control this now. We have the power over these darker entities, because we're just going like, nope, like, no, you know, they literally can't touch you, because this is a vibration game. It's a frequency game. So that's it, in a microcosm of that. See, if you're going into this prison and going just like, whoomp, they literally, poltergeists are like, whoop, no, can't go near that.
And suddenly it all went quiet. And what was funny for me even more was that because it's an old prison, so it's like a museum. And so you go into, and so it's they were like staff, you know, but they're used to it all the time. But they literally crapped themselves. They literally shut the pants because there's why the fuck's it stopped? Why is it? And as soon as I left, it all kicked off, which scared them even more, because it's like, who the frick is that man that everything stops because he's in here and only starts again because he leaves? You know, they literally were, because I got told afterwards that they were like desperate to know who I was, because like they never seen that, never happened in that old, it was in an old KGB prison. And it freaking like scared the life out of them. I've done it like here in haunted houses, but like that was the most extreme. And like there is a, you know, the whole thing of is like, you know, like it's like haters hate it when you go, I love you.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
don't go anywhere. Stay here. I love you so much.
Yeah.
Oh, what, you think I got big ears? Oh, yeah. I can fly with these.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, the whole point is that, you know, when you're using, you know, like, just use freaking humour.
Can't touch this. It's literally that. Yeah,
well,
can't
when
touch
I
this.
put it, you know, is that I learned how to not feel physical pain. Then I use humour. You know, I literally go, yeah, do what you want. And it's like, fucking hell. You know, what is this bloke?
Yeah.
But it's, you know, and you don't have to go that extreme, that's me. But the whole point is that when you take the edge off that, when you, you know, when you just start laughing or, you know, and when they can't get at you, whoever they are, it changes everything. It seriously does change it. Even if it's they in your head, because like the monkey mind, there's 60 to 90,000 thoughts in your head. They, you know, all the voices of your past, you know, all the people that told you off, whether it's a school teacher, whether it's the next door neighbour, whether it's the freaking dog, whoever it was that have told you off in the past, those voices are still in your head, and they come every now and again. At a certain point, you just got to freaking laugh at them.
Yeah.
Or and a great, like a Taoist thing is go, you know, like, should you really be saying that on here? Should we say, oh, thank you for that information. What else? Anything else? And or for at least for me, when I ask that in my head, when I think that, those voices shut up because you paid attention, you listen to them, and you go, oh, awesome. Anything else?
Yeah, exactly.
Got anything else to tell me?
Almost exaggerate it to a certain degree, and that's a good practice for people. Is like, and I'm going to do it after this. Actually, I'm going to write down every single thing about myself, like every single thing about myself that somebody could use against me. You know, and then once you, and this is what it means by owning your shit, own who you are entirely, so that nobody has ever any power over you. And then literally people will just run from you because they're going like, oh, I don't like this about you, and your hat looks shit. Oh, I've got to tell this story quickly, right? It was really funny, right? Because like this guy came on one of my lives when I first started doing lives. It was in the first week of my lives. It was like my first trolling, basically. And I was wearing that hat, not that hat, but one of the 3 hats that I've had like that before and I've lost. Anyway, and he was just like, it came on and he was just like, that's a shit hat. And immediately I got this thing and I was like, that's a shit attitude. Like that. And it was fantastic, do you know what I mean? I was just like, if you don't like it, I don't care. Like, go away. Like,
is that it? Is that what?
Yeah.
You know,
it's a shit hat. And really what he's saying is like, I don't like you. You know, and it's just like, you don't have to. You know,
bye.
Yeah, I do it with my family all the time. Well, I used to do it with my family all the time. You know, Mum would go like, you know, I don't like the fact that you did that, and I'm like, you don't have to. Like, you know, they're expecting you to apologise and say sorry or whatever it is, and it's like, yeah, you can disagree with me, but it doesn't change the fact. I'm like, I'm fine with that. You know, that's okay. You know, so this is what it means to own all parts of yourself. So if you're insecure about something about yourself, write it down. And then literally exaggerate it. I wake up in the morning. The mornings are the best times for this because you wake up and then the ego mind kicks in and goes like, "Hey, you're not happy today, or you're not there," and you just go like that. And it's like, what else have you got now? And it's just like, oh, you shouldn't be eating cereal for breakfast. Like, you know, and it's just like, oh, it just shuts up because it's not getting any energy off you. You know, you're not feeding it. You're just taking the piss out of it and going like, no, okay, fine.
Which also tells you, well, it also tells you, even when you get that, you know, if you don't think that you're the only one who gets the voices in your head or has doubts and worries,
you're not good enough.
You know, like freaking Taoists and Zen masters still get it, but they know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, they just go, yeah, shut up, or love you, bye.
They recognise they're just thoughts. That's it, you know, it's just thoughts. And thoughts can't hurt you unless you give energy to it. Similarly with the powers that were, if you want to call it that, which is all part of us, you know, big one thing. Yeah, see? It's all one thing, you see?
So it's all one thing.
That's it, it's all one thing. And we're all part of it as well, you know. Nobody's perfect, but you wouldn't want to be because it'd be boring. That's what we said, you know. It's like, that's why there's the contrast here.
Yeah.
Because if we're up in, we said it, haven't you? We've been in these high dimensional places, we're like,
blah, 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 blah. Do you fancy going back down to earth? Yeah, come on. It's like,
Quick, come on.
yeah, because he's like, no offense, God, but it's shit here. Like, let's go down and learn some stuff, I want to go back and see some dry stone walls. I don't know why that keeps coming into my head, but that's it, And it's like, let's go and experience stuff again, And it's like my friend Shane. He actually went into a Bufo ceremony with 5-MeO DMT, and like he connected to his ancestors who were in the other side, and they were in high dimensions, and they actually said like, would you be all right with us coming down into your body and just like feeling and seeing what it's like? And he said, yeah, go on then, like that. And so they came down, and then his hands started doing this. I was like, and then he heard this, oh wow, do you remember what it feels like to have a face? Oh, it's amazing, look. And it's like arms and legs and penis and things like that, and it's just like, wow.
And I'm a girl!
You remember?
Sorry.
So like for us to be down here is such a gift and a blessing is what I'm trying to say. And like when you're in the higher dimensions, everyone's just like, I don't want to come back here ever again. It's I used to think that when I was in the dark night, when I was struggling with it, but now I'm like, no, I'd love to come back here again and again to have these sort of experiences. It's exactly why we've come here, So never wish any part of it away, It's like, but obviously there's times when I know there was times when I was like, God, I wish this would end. But you get to that place so that you can transcend into these higher states, so that you can be in this place of bliss and start to live your life fully. But it requires us to move into that place of acceptance and love and move what you want to do in life. That's why it's like big empowerment. Go and do what you love. If it's tiddlywinks, it's tiddlywinks.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with nothing wrong with winkling your tickly.
Yeah.
But so quickly throw this in. So there's this Taoist thing. It's sort of like so on here on TikTok. It's sort of like saving a post. It's like so there's this Taoist technique where like wherever you I would just sort of like randomly do it, but like what they would do is like sort of like take yourself away from something just for a moment, or even if you could just pause for a moment and sort of take a photograph or freeze yourself in that moment in time and just think of like everything's going on, good, bad, or whatnot. Freeze yourself in that moment in time and save it there for the future. If this makes sense. So what I've done, like there are periods in my life where like I remember, like in the days of being a baker, where certain things, I didn't have things, or the things weren't great, but I would freeze that moment. I stood there in a qigong pose, and I just took a photograph of that moment, and then I can go back to that now and go, yeah, but I can look at that and go, yeah, I've got all this, but then I miss that. There's that little thing. Oh, well, that was pretty cool. Like, back then, you didn't have all of this, but you had that. You had this, and you had that, and there are times of like just because we do like I remember this and I wish this, and it's like I don't wish that, but freeze a moment. From now on. Try to freeze a moment in your life where we go right. In the future, I will remember this point in time. I'll remember this, and I will allow myself to go back to that point so I can feel it again. A little bit like what you said about the channeling, that being, and just like take photographs that you can analyze in the future, and you can go, that point, remember that. It's a little bit like an NLP thing where you remember that point, you remember that thing. How did you feel? Feel what you feel, see what you see, hear what you hear,
from
know
that.
what you know,
Yeah.
and draw from that. Where are you then? Where are you now? And see the comparisons, and it keeps you, or at least me, it keeps you from not being in the now. It keeps you from suddenly realising, where's all the time gone? Where's this gone? Like taking those photographs and going back to that moment and going, this was going on there and that was going on, but look at it now and look at this now, and it's, for me it works. For me it was powerful. A thing that I used.
Very powerful, yeah.
It's something that I've used a lot. That there's moments in time, and there's definitely. When I was a kid, It was definitely like I used to think, oh, like this angel, this higher self, and it was this, this person, but it felt really familiar when I was a kid, and like my mum and dad split up when I was about, I think I was about 6 or 7, and they divorced when I was 9, and then bullied when I was 11, and tried to commit suicide between 11 and 13 or 14, and
often the sign of a very powerful being for anybody who's wanted to know. That's it, isn't it? When you have like childhood stuff like that, way.
Yeah, and but like I remember this image, this energy, this angel, and then I learned this technique many years later when I was 18 about a dragon dog shaman technique. Which is available in my Dragon Dog Shaman class, which is pretty like, but it's like you could actually go back in time, back to the times that you felt were traumatic, and be there for yourself. Be there and in essence, I was there, and I was like saying to myself that, mate, it's okay. Because I'm you. You know, you've got through this. Yeah. That shit. I know it feels really shit right now. I know, you'd love to end it, but it will get better. Trust me, I'm you.
You're reframing the past, aren't you, in essence? That's it. You're changing the past so that then your present becomes a different reality or a different perspective altogether, isn't it?
Well, yes, but
there is no past.
Well, there's a little like additional to that, is that same technique. I felt myself, future versions of me coming here. I felt my future versions of like when I was, in one of my other dark nights of the soul. Because I think you have more than one.
Joe Dispenza meditations, isn't it? Yeah. Imagine who that person is in the future of you, and then you're walking into that.
Yeah, exactly. But I felt like the future version of me looking back at now, and looking back at when I was in the police and like being depressed, and it's like because especially in that time, I was doing these lives and I've back on FB and the other ones, and I've been always joyful and laughing, but I did that because that was keeping me going. That's what kept me going. That's what kept me from going totally into depression. And I remember at the time going, like light at the end of the tunnel. I can't see the freaking light. Can't even see the freaking tunnel. It was that dark. But I knew at some point I would see the light.
Yeah.
I knew at some point it would get better. And now I'm here. And now it's like, I know with this guy, and it's like, yeah, that's the proof. That's, it's like, don't give up. However dark things get, don't give up. Because one thing I learned is when you're in that darkness, at some point, the light starts. And it'll get bigger and bigger and bigger until it overcomes. And then the darkness will be this tiny freaking little dot.
Yeah.
And that's a cycle that we go through. So it's that wherever you are, know that things will always be different and always expand. And also, but if you're in that light right now, freaking love it.
Yeah.
Love every single moment of it, like it's your last.
Gratitude.
Because things do change and things can shift. But then it will shift back again. So it's just about living in the now, but whatever you are, if you're in the light, live it, love it, fucking enjoy it. Yeah. And in the darkness, look up, because that's where you're heading.
Yeah.
Back to the light.
Totally.
But hey, what the fuck do I know?
Or some shit.
There
we go.
Indeed.
I think that's a lovely place to end. Yeah, I think
so.
There we go.
I think it's been quite good.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. I really, really enjoyed it. And like I say, go and follow Sifu Boggie. Sifu.Boggie, is it? On TikTok?
On Instagram, it's Sifu.Boggie. On TikTok, it's just Sifu Boggie.
Yeah.
Go and follow Medicine Man Sam. Find him. Hunt him down.
Watch all the stuff on YouTube. I'm going to put this up on YouTube as well. If it downloads, it will download. Guides, make sure that this video downloads. That'd be awesome. Because this is pretty much as good as the podcast, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's so there you go. But yeah, thanks everybody. Keep being grateful.
Love you.
And you can't make a mistake.
Bye.
There you go. And if you're going through it, then don't worry, you will get through it. Trust me. And it's almost like when I was in my dark phase as well, just to add to that, I knew that I was being guided by my soul. There was something there at the back of my mind going like, you ain't done yet, mate.
Yeah.
Something's changing. A lot of things have to fall away. But in that, like, I found myself, you know, and here I am now doing this with this beautiful human being. So it's just like, brilliant. Thanks, everyone. Toodaloo, toodle pip. Love you all. Take care. All right.
Bye for now.
Take care and take risks.
Now.
See you later, everybody. See you later, Bradford. Love you. Toodaloo. Bye, bye, bye.